Hey guys, it's TMIKA and Merry Christmas to you guys. I'm not sure when this video will go up, but I wanted to share with you guys this quick tutorial on how I made these cute little boxes that you can put little goodies in. This particular one is cocoa and it has enough room in these little test tubes. You can add chocolate chips or marshmallows in there, to which I don't have. Very sturdy box that slides right into the little slider there. Great gifts to give all year round. And of course, I am not done with Christmas and I have so many projects that I wanted to get done, and I'm going to be doing it all year round because I have so much snow and cocoa paper that I want to play with. So don't get tired of me if you see my Christmas 365 in March. So anyway, if you guys want to learn how I did these cute little rectangle boxes, very easy to put together. This one has little Hershey Kisses in there, good for friends, co-workers, neighbors. You know, decorate in whatever color kind of paper. Valentine is coming up, so this would be a good little gift if you just want to put craft goodies in here when you're sending a rack or some type of Happy Mail. So great idea to put these together really quickly for your project. So let me show you how I put it together. All right, so the items you're going to need are, I'm going to use some lightweight chipboard, and this is like cereal box thickness. And then you're going to need your cardstock. I'm using a snow and cocoa, so I'm using these two colors, one for the inside, one for the outside. I'm also using some white cardstock as my base, and I'm going to cover it with the pattern paper. It's a great way to stretch your pattern paper. Otherwise, you can just wrap your whole box in pattern paper if you'd like from the beginning. And an option to fill or things you can fill your box with. These test tubes came from Michael's. They were $1 or 99 cents, and I bought quite a few because I was making lavender gift sets for my friends and family gifts, and I have a tutorial. This is one of the gifts that I created a tutorial for. So this has bath salts, lavender, and rose petals with some essential oil in it. So you can pack up, make one of these and pack them up and put them in the box. What I'm adding to the box today are Hershey Kisses. You can use that, and as you've seen in the previously, you can use the hot cocoa. Now this will allow you to, there's just some room left. This is one pack of hot cocoa. You can add marshmallows to the top to top it off, or add chocolate chips down here and marshmallows up here, which either of those I don't have, but that's an idea. And I just, of course, added the little sign to add 8 ounces of milk. And then whatever other embellishments you want to use to decorate your box. So let's get started. I'm going to use lightweight chipboard because I want my box to be sturdy. You can make this all out of heavyweight cardstock. That will do fine. But the elements that I'm adding to my boxes are the bath salts and the cocoa, and the test tubes made of glass. It's a little bit heavier, so I'm just going to quickly do it with the base with some lightweight chipboard. So I'm going to cut. Whoa, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut it down to 1 1/4. I'm going to need 3 pieces at 1 1/4 by 6 1/4. All right, I'm going to need 2 pieces at 1 1/4 square, and I'm just using the leftover pieces from the ones that I just cut. 1 1/4 square. All right, got all my pieces cut. Now I need to add these to cardstock. Again, if you want to use white cardstock as your, whatever cardstock as your base, and then add your pattern paper to the top, feel free to do so. All right, and I'm gonna leave a little bit of inch around so that I can cover up. I'm gonna cut it off. All right, fold that over. Bone folder to give it a extra sharp line here. Alright. I'm going to miter the corners, which means just cut right where the score lines intersect, right above that. Alright, so now we want to go ahead and wrap this up together. This is going to be my bottom piece. You can use HEG tape. Well, that's what I'm doing for this one. Use double-sided tape. Just want to make sure it's super secure. right, let's cover it up. So you have the one piece that's fully covered. This is the bottom piece. So we want to go ahead and grab the other two. Now these will be, you'll have to leave one of these flaps open on each piece. All right, so I'm going to grab this. I'm going to cut around it. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with the mitering. Only this time I'm securing just 3 sides. So only add glue to the 2 ends and 1 long end. And repeat that for the last long piece. All right, you should have these 2 pieces with 1 flap out and then 1 piece completely covered. And then for these 2 small pieces, you want to cover them and leave, only adhere 1 side down. All right, you just want to adhere 1 side and do the same thing for the other one. All right, so this is what you have so far. So now we're just going to cover these pieces up. I'm going to cut my pattern paper down to 1 1/4 inch, and I'm going to need 3 of those pieces, and then again by 6 1/4. We're doing the same measurements as the chipboard because we've added cardstock to it, and if you used 110-pound weight, it does add a little bit of a bulk. So that will do a small little offset. And then you want to cut the 2 pieces down to 1 1/4 square. So this is going to be the inside of my box. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the outside. I'm going to take my inside pieces and I'm going to attach them, remembering to leave those flaps out. You could do this after, it's just a whole lot easier to do it before. So I'm just going to center that right on top. All right, this is for the bottom piece and the last piece. All right, get your hot glue gun ready and we will go ahead and attach these pieces. Take your bottom whole piece, this other side is blank, should be covered, and then we're going to take this little flat piece and we're going to slide that right under there and attach it with hot glue. So that's going to go underneath on the back. All right, I'm going to slide this right under there and being careful to match my ends as best I can. And that you want that to be at a right angle, at 90 degrees. And do the same thing for the other side. Scoop that underneath, just like so. Okay. Now you want to grab these 2 flaps and you're going to do the same thing. So this one bottom flap goes underneath here, and then the 2 sides attach to the side of the box. So go ahead and glue both of these together. And there we go. We have our box. Really easy. So now you want to go ahead and add your cover pieces that you've already cut. There we are. Everything's all covered. What a cute box. Okay. So now it's time to make like the slip cover that goes on top. So you want to take a piece of cardstock. I'm just going to start off by cutting mine down by 7. So we know it's not that long. And then you want to flip it to the opposite side. So that's 7 on one side. And on the opposite side, you want to score at the mark right before the half. That's 1 3/8. One time, slide that mark over to the 1 3/8 again. Score it again. Slide that mark over to 1 3/8 again. Score it. Slide that mark over to 1 3/8. Score it. So we have 1 2 3 4. And then I'm going to slide it down again to 1 3/8, but this time I'm going to cut it. Okay. And you don't want to use your score mark or your bone folder for this yet, but fold over gently all the corners or all the score marks, because the fit of this box is just a little bit in between the 2 marks. So now you have everything, you know, just fold it like this loosely. All right, and I have my finishing piece at the top where it closes. I'm going to slide my box in. or put my box in. You don't have to slide it in. You can put your box in with the opening at the top. So it depends on how well you scored your other paper, how, you know, accurate you were with the folding over the bone folder. So I just do it this way. Make sure my edges are creased as much as they can, and make sure my box slides in and out snugly, right? So that's just about right, accurate. So then I take my hot glue and I just put a little bead to close this flap. So a little bead, and I'm going to add that where I close it at, seal it down. That way you know your box fits perfectly, and then there you go. So you can go back now and flatten all your pieces. I'm just going to make sure that fits right back in there. Done. Easy peasy. Now you may have extra, which I do apparently, so I'm going to cut that down a little bit. So maybe cut it at 6.5, I guess. So I just put my little scissors in there where I want to cut it, and I'm just going to cut it down right at that mark. There we go. So maybe cut it down to 6.5 to start out with, but I cut it extra because I know I can cut it off later. All right, so now it's just left to decorate whatever you want to put on the top of your box. So I'm going to add some pattern paper to this really quick. All right, I got my 4 pieces of pattern paper cut down, and I just did it just enough to cover the outer edges of the box. I just like to have a little gap on the outside. So I cut it down to the tiniest little, the 16th mark after the 1 1/4. So it's in between 1 1/4 and 1 3/8. And your box is done. Really, really cool. So now we just can add some quick decorations. And you know I'm using my snow and cocoa paper. Yes. I'm doing Christmas all year round, guys. So feel free to join me. And I'm going to cut off, I'm going to fussy cut this snowman out. This is a die cut, but I'm going to fussy cut him out and put him on top of the box. All right, and I have the other half of that burr from the other little box there. And I'm going to fishtail this out. I got the rim of the paper when you tear it off, the 12 by 12, and I'm using this black. Add in some of this you know, black for contrast. Use all the paper, right? I'm going to add a little bit of pom-pom trim to the sides of my box because I think it's just so snow and cocoa-ish. All right, that's done. Okay, we can add this to the box. I'm going to add a little dimension. I'm going to add our snowman. Do you want to build a snowman? I'm just going to add it to the bottom. Just going to add the snowflake. I'm going to cut it in half. Just add a little bit down here. A little bit up here. And take my burr, put that right across the top. I'm going to add a couple of these little tiny hearts. Actually, I'll just do one. All right, and there we have it. Super cute. So, pushing that out, add my little Hershey Kisses. Or again, you can add your little test tube of whatever you want to add to it. Cute! So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that quick tutorial. I hope you'll try it, and I hope you don't get tired of my Christmas all year long. I'll see you guys next time. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.